Good afternoon, friends. My name is Gowri Shankar. So basically, I'm a test manager with almost 17 plus years of experience, right from manual testing, automation, release, sign-off, security testing, usability testing, pretty much application from start until it goes to the production without any hassle. So today's topic is so it's my journey how I tested 5 complex and critical applications with a tight deadline of just 6 months. So this is how when I started, how chaotic the situation was, and from there how I transformed my journey into a plain cakewalk kind of thing. So basically, a little info about my project is I work for a company called Headforwards. You might be familiar with it because one of the biggest in Cornwall. So they have outsourced me to one of the largest consultancies. They have outsourced me to one of the largest clients, like a government organization in the world, and their testing team is from another company. So basically, if you look at this, there is a multiple splits here. So my role as a test manager here is to act as a bridge between the development team, client, and client's testing team, and get the application moved to production smoothly. So just for you to understand how complex and intense this application is, I would like to tell you an example about my first week or my first day. On my very first day of this project, they asked me, they're planning for a production release the weekend. So they asked me if I'm able to help them to get it to production. My very first question was like, which sprint are we in? So they said in the first sprint. So when we are in the first sprint, how many stories will you be expecting? I thought it'd be 4, 5. Do you guys think anything else? Like 6, 7? So I expected at least 5 to 6 stories. Okay, yeah, and I got a good team of testers. So I thought I'll do my best to get it done. So I asked someone to send me the URL of the sprint board, and when I received it, I'm pretty sure someone sent me a wrong one. Okay, I just said, no, this is not the right URL. Can you send me the right one? They said, no, this is the right URL. This is my first shocker. There was more than 30 plus stories. Okay, fine. Okay, I just asked like, what about the testing team? They said, yeah, don't worry, testing team has been hired a month ago, so they're on board. Okay, so I just had a chat with the testing team, and my second shocker is that they don't have the access rights sorted yet. They don't know anything about the project. On one hand, I have to handle their access rights, and parallelly, I need to sort the knowledge transfers for the team. And at around 1 p.m. On the first day, I asked my team to start writing the test cases, so we will be familiar with the acceptance criteria. And my third shocker is they said they're signing off for the day because they're working offshore, and it's already 5:30 in the evening. So this is how my first week was, and I had to work very long hours. I don't want to mention the numbers here, but I really had to work long hours. And while I'm doing this, I noticed a lot of blockers and a lot of bugs in the system, and I'm really not comfortable with this going to production. I had a chat with my project manager and explained him. The only problem is they are not ready to listen to any of the suggestions because government officials has already booked the flights, and they're on the way to see the demo. So finally, the Sunday came, and guess what happened? Expected happened. We are not able to go into the production with multiple blockers. The production release has halted at around 11 or 12 o'clock in the night. So basically what happened is, a lot of time, a lot of overtimes, a lot of things has been, wasted, I would have said, So what are the points to take from this, basically? The first thing is you need to accept the reality. You should accept the realities, and sometimes you need to analyze the situations. Like, we could have thought about something else, like, shown them a presentation in a way, like, in a lower environment, or given a demo about the slide. This is how the application is going to be. Most importantly, I believe it's always better to be honest with the client rather than showing a faulty or broken application and get a first impression, the very bad one. It's always better to, be honest and explain them. Okay, it might. We all know that this is going to happen. This is not the first time, right? People will be ready to accept, even though they don't like it. They have to accept it. So this is likewise, the inappropriate deadlines are keep on happening, and the initial example was just a start, or I can tell an icing on a cake. because that was just one project. Likewise, I had to handle 5 projects. And there are like, multiple continents with multiple countries involved. There is like multiple languages needs to be dealt with. Devices, mobile device, web applications, Microsoft Dynamics 365, multiple browsers again on all these devices. So on top of it, now AI. Now they have introduced something called AI, and they have to scan the data from the documents, and it has to auto-populate, which is again a big complicated thing. It works in iOS, and it doesn't work in Android. If it works in Android, it doesn't work in iOS. So a lot of things happening, and my daily routine was like 40 to 50 stories a day, bugs, tasks, assigning the things to the team, answering the questions with the developers, and so it was like so busy. And I know, despite of all these efforts, I'm pretty sure things are not going as I'm planned. And I got a clear agenda that there should not be any bugs in UAT, at least no critical or any major bugs in the UAT. That is my agenda, but it's not happening. It's sneaking in. Somehow it's sneaking in, So what's going on? What's going wrong? I had to analyze myself, because instead of telling others, this is not my first complicated project. I have dealt with other projects, I knew this wasn't going as per the plan. So in that cases, the best thing is, sometimes when you look at something from very close distance, you definitely miss the whole picture. So I've taken a couple of days holidays. I just came out of the project, just took some time, and I started to analyze the situation, what's happening, and one thing I noticed is, I started to change everything in the company, and that's not going to happen. Only thing you need to do is like, work on things which are only in your control. You can't just go and come one day and you have to, this is not right, you have to change this. That's not going to happen. You have to accept the reality again. So one thing I have done is, I just started, okay, fine. I know I'm in a very complicated situation. I know things not going great. What could I do? So I started looking at some very complex projects, that will give me an understanding, how they are doing it, So there are some complex projects I have looked into, which will not even come to our imagination. Okay, how come they're able to do it? There are a couple of examples like that I would like to share with you guys. One is like the Mars Orbiter mission by ISRO, and the other one is Japanese overground to underground conversion railway project. So basically, MOM is nothing but Mars Orbiter mission. It's not my mother. So the timeline is 2 years, and the budget is 75 million. So to understand this one, it took almost 3 years with a budget of 420 million for an experienced agency like NASA to send their first rocket to Mars. It's 5 times more expensive than the Mars Orbiter mission. And the timeline is almost 1/3 less than the first mission. So, and the people are not experienced as well. They're doing it for the first time. If they are able to accomplish that one, and I'll give you a fun fact here. The movie Martian, the budget of the movie Martian is 108 million. And this one costed 75 million. And if I compare with Avatar, you don't believe it, Avatar has costed 230 million and 4+ years. And second part, I don't want to talk about it. It took more than, guys. So the second project I want to tell you is like railway project, that total team size is of 1,200 people. And I would like you guys to guess the timeline instead of me telling you how many months or years it would have taken for them to convert the whole, overgrown railway project to underground. Any guesses, please? 8 years. 18 months. Any numbers, okay? 18 months, because this is time critical, right? Think wildly and tell me some short numbers. Few months? Okay, I'll tell you the answer. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Sorry, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Yes, you can see this in YouTube actually. They got the live feed of it. 3 hours and 20 minutes that they have converted the entire overgrown railway project into underground. So this gave me an understanding, First thing, I'm not building a rocket. I'm not sending anything to Mars. Second thing, I'm not doing something like this. So if they are able to do it, why are we struggling to do, a small projects? I know this is complicated, but not as complicated as this. So these things gave me an understanding, Okay, let's see. Let's get back to basics, and I just gone and written down few things, what they are doing. The first thing is, you can't succeed on these type of projects on your own. it has to be like, team coordinated. The team coordination is very vital. When the time is of essence, then everybody should take it as a challenge. Everybody should know what exactly they're doing, and also it's not a 9 to 5 job. Everybody should feel this is a challenge. Okay, let us get it done, and let's get the pride out of it. It's not just for the money, right? So, so people don't like someone always complaining. I mean, if someone always comes and complains, this is not right, people don't like it. So come with solutions rather than, coming up with complaints, okay? Finally, you can't change everything, just focus on the things which are on your control. And assumption skill. Be very clear with your targets, okay? So the first thing is the team. The team is very vital part. You are as good as your team. So you need to win the trust of your team. The best way to win the trust is by showing them things how they are done, not by telling them or forcing them to, or pressurefully like giving some task, and show them, yes, sit with them, do the pairing. Pairing is very important so that, they will see how much involved we are as well. And it's always, recommended to appreciate them, because they deserve it, because of all these pressures. It's always, even the small things, as a manager, as a lead, it's our responsibility to appreciate their efforts. Give them confidence. Mistakes happens. Mistakes always happens, especially when the pressure is building. It will catch up to any best of the people. So the best thing is, don't give them assurance. Tell them, yes, I'm there with you. Let's focus. Let's get it better in some other ways. So team meetings. And when I say team meetings, this is one thing which has transformed my process. This is the first step which has given me the actual results. And this is nothing to do with the work actually. So basically, what you need to do is, you need to spend at least 30 minutes a week. I know time is luxury, but you have to squeeze that 30 minutes and have a chat with your team. And that should not be anything related to the work. Have a personal chat. You let them talk. You just listen, or just share some fun facts about you, so that they will feel more comfortable. They will start involving in the conversation. Some people will be introverts. Some people will be very open. And you have to make sure everybody involves in this kind of chats. So once I started to do this, and the second thing I wanted to say is try to do it on a Friday, closing time. The reason is they will end up on a very high note and very positively. And they will have a pleasant weekend. And when they come on Monday, they will be a bit more comfortable than, closing off in a pressureful situation. So, and more strategies to improve is like, planning. Planning is the key part. In the previous stage, when I said, about how this has changed in my situation. Prior to that meetings, I have to wake up every day early in the morning because they're working offshore. I have to make sure the team is really working or not. But after these meetings, I can seriously see the, proactiveness in the team. They are also started to feel this as their own project. They started to, they started to come and talk to me. Come on, let's do this. They started to give me some ideas. So that's the reason I said that gave me a lot of time. The next thing is planning. Planning is very vital. So I did a full presentation on planning, 4 quadrants of planning. It's in the YouTube. If you guys wanted to know more, you can see that one. But having a clear goal for the week, for the day, even for that hour, and make sure you list down everything and strike down the talks which are already completed. That will give a clear understanding what needs to be done. The next one is like, break down the barriers, obstacles. So when the project is big and when there is a lot of people involved, there will be a lot of protocols need to be followed. Okay, this has to be gone through these people. You try to, minimize those kinds of protocols as little as possible and try to make their job much easier. Like, for example, I've created multiple chat groups, and that has helped, the team communicate easily. And one trick I'm going to tell you here is if you add a couple of people from the client side, people will be very cautious. They will try to respond fast. They will be like, they will be accountable for every conversation happening. So I just added, few people from the client side in every chat group. That had made a tremendous, improvement. Prior to that, I had to go and contact people. Come on, can I answer this one, please? Can you get the things sorted for me. After that, I don't have, people started to respond. Come on, Gowri, you got it. Is everything done? So you can feel the difference. And free flow of knowledge, you should not be dependent on any single person on this scales of projects. People should be properly resourceful, so conduct more knowledge transfers, arrange screen recordings of that, so people, when someone is not there, they can go and always check it and gain their knowledge. Reverse order, plan from the deadline. It's like begin with the deadlines and work backwards. That will change a lot of things. So you can put some contingency plans. You can work towards your goal, but you are starting from backwards. That makes a lot of change while you're planning. Peer testing, this is one thing, again, peer testing, people think, when the project is so complicated, why are you putting two people on testing one application or one functionality? But the thing is, when two people are working on one functionality, there are more scenarios will be covered. The bugs will be double tested before it being raised. No need of chasing the others. Okay, can you please test this for me so that I'll raise it as a bug. Everything is already done for us. So, and one more thing is, while you send the bug, please send it as a screen recording. Record your entire session. Send it as a recording rather than sending the steps to reproduce it. Send the entire video. That will help the developers or whoever is working on them stop asking questions. They will just look at. We can tell them, please look into it. Still, if you don't get it, then come back to us. We can answer you. 99% of the time, they won't come back to you. That saves a lot of time. And one last thing is log the builds. So no matter how persuasive the development team is, say no. You should be able to say no to that. Because 99% of the time, the bugs will be sneaked into the other environment based on the last minute minor. They say, no, there's nothing to this. It's a small one line of code. That's enough for the bug to go into the next level. So I would say, please say no to it. So finally, it's listing activities. So write down all the tasks you need to done, sort them into your calendar. Estimating time, estimating time is, it has to be very realistic. At the same time, make sure you give a little bit of time while you, I know the team will come and say, no, we don't have much time, but still try to give at least a few hours. Normally you say few weeks, but in these type of projects, I will say few hours extra time will help us a lot. Allowing contingencies. Again, when I say contingency, it's not just about time. You need to have a contingency plan. You need to have a contingency person. What someone goes sick, you need to have a contingency person plan. If project A has got halted because of something, you need to have a contingency so they can be easily shifted to something else and they start working on it. Finally, deciding priorities. Don't get stuck with your own plan. You have to be very agile. Sometimes you might have planned something, but you might get something else. You need to have a plan for it. So you can easily change your priorities and make the things flow. Never ever stop the flow. And finally, don't get beaten by the work. The pressure of these kinds of projects will be always, you feel, okay, come on, I just don't want to come on Monday. But don't get beaten by it. If you start accepting the pressure, your world will turn upside down. So try to be on top of it. And yeah, that's what I can say. So I mean, there are a lot of things I've done, like creating my own Excel spreadsheet, where I don't have to communicate with anyone. I just put all my stories in the Excel spreadsheet based on the project, and I can given the color coding. So whoever is working on that, they have to pick it, and it has to be in amber. Only one amber per person. There should not be two ambers. If it's completed, it should be green. If it is not, it has to be either red or brown. Blocked is brown. Red is bug. If it is bug, then I have to report the bug with a bug ID in that. So I don't have to go and ask anyone, okay, what are you doing? All I need to do is open my own spreadsheet, go check what people are doing. Okay, these guys are working on this. They got raised these bugs. Open it, check it, and if that is fixed, change it to a different column. So I mean, what I'm saying is I don't have enough time for me to go into much details about it. All I can say is, you will come up with solutions. But the only thing is, the first thing and most important thing is, be very, close to your team. Be, honest with your team. Try to help them as much as you can, and try to, take it as a challenge rather than 9-to-5 job. This is how I just changed my journey from a place where I started. And finally, when in the last few weeks, I did had 4 to 5 hours a day, more time left. Thank you so much, guys.